Well, hello, Americans. This is Charles Harvey, presidential candidate for the year 2012. Uh, just got done, made myself spaghetti and meatballs with some garlic bread, large glass of milk, and chocolate chip cookies. So, feeling pretty good. Already had my nap. So, ready to talk about world has lost hope of America's moral leadership. Now, this is a subject that, about once a year I write an article or so about America should do its own inventory. And of course, the rebuttals and anger and why don't you go to another country if you don't like it? And that's the general attitude. People just don't want to do an inventory of themselves. They just want to look at the good parts. But we do enjoy reading and watching on TV all the negative and all the bad things that are happening. You know, that's what makes it so successful. Journalists are not looking for truth, justice, and a moral American way. They're looking for hot items. Well, I was thinking about how U.S. America keeps telling the world how great we are while we're going down the drain. It's amazing how Americans set ourselves up as moral leaders of the world, even if the United States has less than 5% of the world's population, but has almost a quarter of the world's prisoners. The United States has, for instance, 2.3 million criminals behind bars, more than any other nation. And according to the data maintained by the International Center for Prison Studies at King's College London, China, which is 4 times more population than the United States, is a distant second with 1.6 million people in prison. That number includes hundreds of thousands of people held in administrative detention. You know, and murders. I found it interesting. Thank God we're not the leader in murders. Top 61 through 61. Number 1 was Colombia. Number 2 was South Africa. Number 3 was Jamaica. And thank God we only made 24 out of 66. We're number 24 in murders in the world. And the bottom 2 is interesting, Japan and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, an Islamic country. Can you imagine that? Being at the bottom of the list of committing murders? Probably, roughly, thinking about it, so approximately 45 murders are committed each day in the U.S. That's very interesting. Also in America, we have about 400,000 registered sex offenders that we know about. And of course, about 80% of those we don't know where they are because they don't want to register. One of the biggest cultures in America's changed in the last 25 years has been the widespread acceptance of sexually explicit material, pornography. You know, we spend billions of dollars. We spend the same amount of money on pornography as we do sporting events and entertainment. Also, illegal drug sales in the nation is put around $40 billion a year, and the United States budget for fighting illegal drugs in our country is about 10 to 15 billion dollars a year. You know, and that's amazing, spending 10 billion a year on adult entertainment and 40 billion on illegal drugs. That's the United States people now. That's us. And of course, history is interesting too. Everybody knows about us killing and taking over American Indians' land. We enslaved and killed large numbers of people with black skin. Uh, we couldn't stand the Irish, and we couldn't stand the Italians, and then the Jews were not allowed in many establishments, weren't allowed jobs. 1940s, 50s. We locked up people of Japanese descent that were citizens during the war while having Japanese Americans serving in our military. And the Civil War, 620,000 killed each other here on land. So, that's the moral issues that need changing. Besides the fact that we have unemployment problems, we're in debt, and the chances of getting out are practically nil. It's incredible. And it's a time for change. America, we have to do our own inventory. We have to judge ourselves. We have to change ourselves and not judge the world and try to change the world. This is Charles Harvey, candidate for president. Page 3, the rest of the story. Thank you.